right? The Odogus, the kings, and the heads of homes on the planet. Now, in the past 2 decades, particularly in this country, if I'm not mistaken, around the world, in the past 2 or 3 decades, we've seen society, lean very heavily towards information. So there's it looks as though there's a masterclass for almost everything. You want to have a masterclass in finance, somebody's offering. A masterclass in how to please your wife, someone is there. A masterclass on how to please your husband, someone is there. A masterclass on cooking, someone is there. A masterclass on automobiles, how to sell your cars, how to buy. Would say have had positive impact. Argue that sometimes some of these quote unquote information are basically systemic methods to erode or rewrite history or change culture. Now, that in itself is where we are hinged upon this morning. Because in the rewriting of history, in the rewriting of cultural practices and nuances, the question has to be, is it for the best? For example, historically, people in different parts of the world have done certain things that, science, has said, well, doesn't really make sense. There's no real value. Also, there are certain things that some cultures have been doing for thousands of years, and science says, wow, this makes a lot of sense. It really does. How did they figure this out? Is it just good practice? Who knows? But the point here is the fine line of finding out what this information should do and what it will do is a big problem. What am I talking about? You see, in Senegal, a very interesting program that operates around 20 plus schools throughout Senegal, and more than 300 men have been trained. What is this program? What is this school? It is Schools for Husbands. Let me say that again. Schools for Husbands. Now, the aim of this program, right, is to get young men who are married, or middle-aged men who are married, to come sit down with men who are way advanced in marriage than they are, who now tell them, okay, all right, so what exactly is going on in your family? This is what you should do in a bid to change pre-existing concepts of marriage in that country. Don't forget, in many African countries, spousal abuse is very high. Obviously, sexual female FGM also a big problem. So what this program is trying to do is trying to teach men how to become better partners to their wives, how to support them, how to not see certain roles, certain chores, certain responsibilities as beneath them. For example, the men who get to come to the school for husbands are usually taught and encouraged to help their wives who are pregnant with chores, help them do the laundry, help them go to the market, and if you can't, help them cook. They are also taught that when you have an argument with your wife, you resist the urge to want to punch her or call her family and tell her, pack your things and get out. They are encouraged to have conversations with their wives. Now, some of the women who spoke with the interview, this is actually a very interesting article. You can go online and search for it, check on Al Jazeera. They said that they've noticed immense changes in their husbands. But here is where observers are worried. Now, some see this school of husbands as the westernization of African culture. Husbands have certain roles, have certain duties, have certain responsibilities. Why mix it? Why then should you now want the man to carry a basket of onions on his head because his wife is pregnant? Can't he employ another woman to come and do that, get a maid? Why are we trying to make the men do what women do? And then there's also that line of, if we continue like this, the long running problem with femininity and what's that word that people don't like? Yeah, feminism, toxic feminism is going to increase. We are talking about making our men emasculated. Women will now be controlling men. How can a man be washing the boxers and pants of his wife, even though he's using washing machine? Why? Which led me to this question. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are listening to me and you have a son 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, or 21, would you be willing to send your son to a school for husbands? And you see, the interesting thing about this school for husbands in Senegal is there's no exam, there's no continuous assessment. All they do is talk to you. Men take notes. And then the men who are in charge of the schools don't, and these are not like buildings. These schools are happening in people's backyards. Somebody, like I said, the older gentleman will call 7, 8, 10 men. Okay, come to my house. Maybe share some quick area or whatever. Sit down. Say, okay, talk to me about your wife. This is what you should do. No, don't do like this. Don't do like this. That's all they do. No examinations. But the elder gentleman or the elder in that particular community, right, reserves the right to pay surprise visits to the husbands. So the man just comes up, like we say in Edo, the EPA will just come to your house. And how are you, Jude? Yes, how's your wife? Madam, how's your husband treating you? Is he good? Okay, tell me what's been going on. So you don't know when it's going to happen, but it happens. So once again, would you be willing to send, if that kind of program was to start in Nigeria, would you be willing to send your son to a school for husbands?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Hello, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
017-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0007. All right, at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X, at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. Then please do send us a message to the WhatsApp number. The number is 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. All right, starting us off this morning, 90.3. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning to you. Good morning. Okay, welcome to the program. But could you repeat that? I didn't hear you clearly. Could you speak into your phone, please?
I said that the man washed a woman's
It's not good. It's not good that the man washed the woman's clothes.
Yes.
Even if he's just using washing machine, he just put it. He didn't use his hand. He just put it inside the washing machine. It's not good. Okay, madam, please call us because that line is not very clear. Please, apologies. 913. Good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Yeah, Mr. Jude. Good morning to you.
Good morning, please.
My name is Mr. Zion. I'm calling you from Port Harcourt.
Thank you for joining us.
I will not attend that kind of a school nor program. Neither will my male sons attend. Because this program itself is a ploy that has determined that men are the problem in marriage. Which is also unfortunate. Such kind of school is so wicked.
How is it wicked if it's helping men to be better husbands? How is it wicked?
How can Jude, all husbands are better people? Look at it. Women are the problem mostly when it comes to marital issues. For us to face the problem, we are now accusing innocent people. It's because when men speak, nobody listens to them. Do you know how many men that bottle up issues? The women are the problems. when it comes to most marital cases.
Most marital cases. Okay, now let's for this. Wait, hold on. For the sake of this argument, you and I not in Senegal, right? But let me give you stats from Senegal. Now, from that country, there's been a very sharp rise, right, in domestic violence. Now, let's say it is the men that is the women that accosted, maybe the women are always insulting. But hold on, if there's a school that teaches the men to handle those emotions and not hit their wives or beat their wives, isn't that a good thing?
Jude, you see this thing we call domestic violence. These are your boss words. What is domestic violence? Should a man just come to him and say, madman, will start beating his wife? Is he a mad person? What triggered him? Have we discussed that? We should be very careful when we come into these issues of marriage. The Bible said it frantic. Do not pay the bride price of a woman that is not a virgin.
Miss Zion, this has nothing to do. Wait, hold on. Let me stop you right. No. I have to stop you right now. This conversation has nothing to do with the vegetarian woman. No. See, Mr. Zion, you are disenfranchising people who genuinely want to understand the problem or the solution of schools of husband. The virginity of a woman is not in question here. It is not. No. I'm going on a break very soon. I have 20 seconds, but it is not the issue.
Let me use the 20 seconds. You use my whole time talking.
Please.
You use my time talking.
All right, go on, please.
Jude, marriage is spiritual. The day a girl accepted to have a boyfriend that is not her husband, that man who deflowered her is her husband. He's got married to. We should understand these things. Let me stop here.
We're going on the break, please. 90.3 Nigeria Info PH. My name is Jude Omamegbe. A pleasure to have you join us once again. Now, like I stated earlier on, and if you're just joining us, well, you haven't missed much. This morning, our conversation is the school for husbands. Now, my question is, would you be willing to send your child, your son, to a school for husbands, if there was such a thing here in Nigeria? Now, this is based off a program in Senegal where married men, right, go to an elder's place, sit down with the elder, not one or two, usually 4 or 5 of them, and the elder talks to them about their marriage, makes suggestions as to how they can be better husbands. Not necessarily telling them you must do chores, but basically tries to find out what each individual is experiencing in their marriage. And so it's kind of like you go to see a therapist, right? So they go there, they sit down, the man, obviously, as a Senegalese, he tries to use their traditional practices, also trying to use modern, quote-unquote, modern techniques to help the men resolve issues at home. From what I read, they don't necessarily come and tell the man, my wife refused to give me rice and chicken. That chicken, she not give me, no. More often than not, it's about the underlying issues of ego, temperance, issues of finances, issues, that regard, how each person in that relationship ought to respond when certain challenges come through. Now, there's a problem, right? And the problem here is some observers worry that the idea, whilst good, might be a foothold for westernization of marriage practices in that country because it is a UN-backed program. Now, they say they would have preferred if it was something that the local chiefs had come up by themselves, for their people, so that they know that, yes, we're trying to just keep our communities as it were original as possible. But here is an interesting fact for you. In the past century, we've seen cultures merge. We are now, quote unquote, a global village. More people around the world are wearing suits than they did, 200 years ago. People from different cultures are borrowing the dress sense, the dress style, even the music. So at what point does the school become a place for moderation, and at what point does it become the place, quote unquote, for the eroding and the rewriting of a societal's norm and traditions? So that's where observers have a challenge with the school of husbands. Now, before I put the full lines, might I add, how much different is this quote unquote school for husbands with what Nigerians here in recent years have taken to be, as it were, foundation for starting a marriage? The marriage class. You hear people keep on hammering, it is good to go to marriage class. Some say, our parents didn't go, but they turned out okay. And then some say, but our parents didn't go, but the women were enduring their marriages. The men were basically carrying out cycles that they didn't know how to break. And some people were basically raised in a toxic environment. So yes, it is good to get to a marriage class. Some marriage classes will deter you from marriage. They will tell you all the things that could go wrong. I ask you, are you sure you want to go into a marriage? Into this particular sacrament of holy matrimony? Some say yes, and they get married. So, if the idea is to create better husbands, or let me change that. If the idea is to create better marriages by the husbands acting in a better way, what is wrong with that? The participants so far, from what I read and what I saw, I watched the documentary from Senegal, states that, well, their husbands are much improved. They are calmer, they are nicer, they are gentler with them, they are more supportive of their dreams and aspirations as women. Now, the first caller probably raised a very valid point, and that is, what if it's the women that are the problem? Why does it seem as though everything must be from the man's perspective? What are the women? Are the women supportive of the men? Are the women trying to abrogate responsibilities for themselves, trying to become men, trying to become heads of homes? That is another concern for observers because, like I said, it is a UN-backed program. So that means those men, those elders will probably get pamphlets from the UN. Will probably get stipends from the UN. Will probably get materials to say, okay, you should introduce this style of talking to the gentle parenting, stuff like that. I don't know. But what say you, though?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Hello, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
So 08179230002, 08179230003, 08179230002, 08179230007. Now, at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH, right? It's where you find us from on Facebook and on X, at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. Do send us a message on WhatsApp and SMS. The number is 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. That's where you find us on WhatsApp and on SMS. 92.3, good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Jude, Omamegbe, I greet you this morning.
Welcome, please. Good morning.
Yes, my name.
Welcome, Mr. JJ.
Jude, I would say excellent. It's an excellent idea. A lot of people will argue that, what about the women? There is a tendency that the mother can also do one or two. Jude, what's the difference between what the UN is backing up right now and the, how do they call it, the counseling class you go to when they want to be married in maybe a church?
Okay.
Right? Some of these churches, they make it compulsory that you must attend maybe a 3 weeks, a 1 month intensive class. So it's both male and female, right?
Yes.
But I think that what they have done, is it in Senegal?
Yes, Senegal.
Yes, I think this one will even help them as they win Nations Cup right now. It's a good one because if you look at the crisis at home, from my own perspective now, you will discover that many, at times, is the man's fault. Maybe they didn't see well or they didn't copy what happened in their home or they collected it from their father, right?
Okay.
There's a tendency that more people that their father beat their mother, they may enter two of us.
Okay.
So you now see that this
say that.
program tends to change their mind, to change them to the real things on ground. I am not exonerating the women, because some of them, their mouth sharp typewriter. You know those typewriters?
Yeah.
But part of that lecture that will be, if you have a typewriter at home, how do you pause at times? Many a times, those typewriters, they have control. But if you don't know that control button, it becomes an issue. So for me, it's a very good one that they have introduced this. It will cause a good one at the end of the day.
All right.
Many a times too, most of the fathers who leave, they say, 50 years anniversary. Is because this man had this idea. And if he has the idea, when he's annoyed, maybe just wearing shirt, just come on, go watch football, 1 or 2, and so many stuff like that. So you can now get more, opinion on what to do when you jam a typewriter.
JJ.
Please, in the name of God, ask me a question.
All right, JJ, thank you very much. Rosemary's on the line. Let's hear from Rosemary this morning. All right, Rosemary's in Port Harcourt. Rosemary, thank you for joining us. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Unfortunately, that line was 7. WhatsApp now, 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. Jude, good morning. Please, let me start by saying the virginity of a woman is not the reason why any marriage would be successful or will fail. We need to stop promoting this ideology, putting unnecessary pressure on females and neglecting the males. Now, to the topic at hand, I think it's a laudable idea and one that should be tempered with our own cultural practices. There's nothing wrong if the chiefs in the community start to go around telling the men to do things or not to do certain things that will make their homes stay better. If they see anything that's backed wrongly, they can say it and then discourage it. But having men gather and share their problems and share their issue, I think is a fantastic idea. All right, thank you very much. That there is from NK. NK says it's a fantastic idea. The chiefs here can do the same thing. Go around, tell men how to do certain things. I know if there's certain things that they don't like, they can also discourage it. Sam on the line from Oyigbo. Sam, good morning to you.
Well, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, Sam.
I really want to say that this school should be established all over the world.
Oh,
I will not only attend, I would also like to lecture there.
I see.
My children have to also attend such a valuable school. And it should be expanded to include women. It should be expanded. See, most problems in most marriages are due to the egoistic nature of men. Most of the problems, we men are, that is, the men are responsible. Who are those that give laws that their in-laws should not come around? My wife, it should be only you and I, the men. Who are those who don't want to see their in-laws around them? Who are those who will see their pregnant wives? Your wife is pregnant 6 months, 7 months, 8 months pregnant. She's still cooking food for you. And the one she delivered before, maybe 2 years old, is still there, being catered for by the same woman. And you are there as a man watching television, Arsenal and Manchester. Who are those ones? Men. So I want to say that they should expand the school to include women, because I know as a man that most of the problems in many homes, men are responsible. Women are very, very innocent. Yes, they also have some areas they contribute to these conflicts, but men, men, God will deliver us.
All right, Sam from Oyigbo, thank you very much. All right. Let's see now. It says, I'm back to WhatsApp. It keeps sending your messages. Oh, let's visit Facebook first. Apologies. Facebook at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. Let me refresh that page. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. All right, join the conversation this morning. We're talking about school for husbands. And my question is, would you be open to sending your child, your son, to a school for husbands?